Well, it's December 17th, 2024. It's 4:23. It's been dark for about 30 minutes now, or 20. So only 4 more days to the winter solstice. I was wanting to tell a story today, and it's just no story about a thing, something that happened to me, something I saw. Oh, I'd say about 30, it's probably 33 years ago, I would say, maybe a little longer actually. Well, anyway, let me get to the story. So I was out exploring. I lived on this big. I lived in the Ozarks, and I had 40 acres of land, and had a river that made a big circle all around my property. And there was lots of places to explore, and caves and stuff like that, So I was out exploring one day, and all of a sudden I heard these dogs coming, and these dogs are trailing something. So I thought, well, what should I do? So I just sit down next to a big oak tree. And hear those dogs come. You could hear them getting closer and closer. And about that time, a really nice white-tailed deer ran about 35 yards from me and right up next to a nice another nice oak tree. And on it went, Well, here in just a second, I could see the first dog coming. And actually, they were 3 dogs. They were trailing 1, 2, 3, one behind the other, And they weren't hunting dogs. They were just yard dogs, is what I call them, But I'm sure, they might have been with somebody might have owned them that, shot squirrels or whatever. They just learned how to trail animals on their own, Because they were alone that day. It wasn't deer season or anything like that, It was probably September, is what I'm guessing now. So anyway, as those dogs were coming to me, they were only like maybe 5 yards apart or 10 yards apart, the dogs. About 20 or 30 yards behind them was a yearling goat, a white yearling goat. So here comes the dogs. The first dog stops, rears up, smells up the tree as high as he can smell, drops back down, and goes on the way the deer went. The second dog did the same thing. He reared up, smelled as high as he could smell, but come back down and run off, and the third dog did too. Well, so I watched, and this yearling goat came right along through there with him, stopped at that very same tree, threw its front legs up onto that tree, and smelled just as high, and it was taller, it could reach higher than those dogs could, and it smelled as high as it could up that tree, and then I guess couldn't smell it, and it dropped back down on all 4 feet, and it hurried to catch the dogs. And I sat there for a minute, and I thought, that's something you don't see every day, and I doubt if anybody would believe me. I told a couple people, but I don't think they believe me, but it was a true story. It really happened. It's just one of those silly little things that you'll see in your life, Now I'm trying to